Students, this is the next or second part of the environmental study for the 8th middle standard to higher section for the up to the 11th 12th biology and 9th 10th science. What is environmental pollution? Distinguish between biodegradable and non-biodegradable pollutants. Choose the biodegradable pollutants from the list given below. Sewage, DDT, radioactive waste and agriculture waste. Answer. Environmental pollution is an undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of the natural environment brought about the man's activities. This pollution may affect the soil, rivers, seas or the atmosphere. Biodegradable pollutants and non-biodegradable pollutants. This is the difference. You have to find out the difference. Okay, this you have to make the tables in this way, and tables has the title. The column first biodegradable pollutants, and column B means next non-biodegradable pollutants. First, these pollutants can be broken down into non-poisonous substances in nature by the action of the microorganisms. Non-biodegradable pollutants. These pollutants cannot be broken down into non-poisonous substances by microorganisms. They get recycled, thus do not need any dumping sites. They cannot be recycled, thus require dumping sites. These are obtained from living things. These are obtained from non-living things. They cause minimum environmental pollution. They cause environmental pollution. Biodegradable pollutants are sewage and agricultural waste. Why are bacteria and fungi called decomposers? List any two advantages of decomposers to the environment. Answer. The bacteria and the fungi break the dead remains and waste products of the organisms. These microorganisms are called the decomposer as they break down the complex organic substances into simple inorganic substances that go into the soil and are used up once more by the plants. Two advantages of the decomposers to the environment are as follows. Decomposers feed on the dead bodies of the plants and animals. They return the simple components to soil and help in making the steady states of the ecosystem by recycling of the nutrients. They therefore create a balance in the environment. They also act as the scavengers or the cleansing agents of the atmosphere. Explain the phenomena of the biological magnification. How does it affect the organisms belonging to the different tropics of level, particularly the tertiary consumers? The process in which the harmful chemicals enters a food chain and get accumulated progressively at each tropic level is called the biological magnification. Harmful and the toxic chemical enter our body when they are added to soil and water. Use of pesticides to protect the food crops from diseases and pests, and the chemical waste of factories are dumped into open or disposed of into rivers. These chemicals are washed down into the soil and ultimately to water table or get absorbed or taken up from the soil by the plants along with water and minerals, and in this way harmful chemicals enter the food chain. The quantity of these harmful chemicals increase with the increase in the trophic level of the food chain because these substances are not degradable. Main is at the top of the food chain, so concentration is maximum in a human being. Thus, the accumulation of DDT has been maximum in main as the DDT is used to destroy pests. DDT is accumulated in the following way in this food chain. Food chain में DDT कैसे मिलता है केमिकल? This is the reason why our food grains are as wheat and rice, vegetables and fruits and even meat contain varying amounts of the pesticides residues. So the highest trophic level at the extreme right of the food chain has the maximum concentration of the harmful chemicals in a food chain. Water, phytoplankton, fish 0.2 ppm, 5.0 ppm, 240 ppm, men 1600 ppm. Long answer type questions. Okay, 5 marks. A non-biodegradable toxic chemical has entered into the food chain. Which type food habit will you suggest to a man, vegetarian or non-vegetarian? Explain with the help of a food chain. The food chain which you would suggest is advantageous, and another aspect how. Vegetarian food chain will be suggested in the case of the entry of the non-biodegradable toxic chemicals into the food chain. Non-biodegradable chemical gets concentrated at every trophic level by the trophic level process of the biological magnification. As the concentration increases with the number of trophic levels in a food chain, man will get high concentration of the chemicals in a non-vegetarian food chain than in a vegetarian food chain. Example, Gracia. Vegetarian food chain, plants to man 5 ppm of DDT, 240 ppm of DDT. Non-vegetarian food chain, plants 5 ppm got 240 ppm of DDT, and man 1600 ppm of DDT. Vegetarian food chain is advantageous in the terms of the energy available to the man because it has less number of trophic levels, as 90% of the energy is lost of the environment. As every trophic level, lesser number of trophic levels will result in the lesser energy loss. Write a note on the producers, consumers and decomposers of the biotic environment with the example of each. Producers, those organisms which produce food by photosynthesis, that is the organism which can make organic compounds like the sugar and starch from the nitrogenic substances using the radiant energy of the sun in the presence of the chlorophyll. Producers therefore are considered as a source of energy for those above it in a food chain. Examples, all green plants, also called the autotrophs, and certain blue-green algae. Consumers, those organisms which depend upon the producers for the food, either directly or indirectly by the feeding on other consumers for their sustenance. Consumers therefore feed upon those below it in a food chain and are called heterotropics. This can be classified into the primary consumers are the herbivorous, secondary consumers are the small carnivorous, omnivorous are the parasitic. Example, Gracia, cows and humans. Examples of the consumers. Herbivorous are the animals that consume or eat vegetation or plants. Example, Gracia, cows and horses. Carnivorous are the animals that eat flesh or the other animals, tiger and wolves. Omnivorous are the animals that eat both plants and animals, human and cockroaches. Parasites are those organisms that they are live on the ectoparasites or in the endoparasites, the body of another organisms, that is host from which it is obtained its nutrients. Example, Gracia, parasites of the main includes fleas and lice. Ectoparasites and various protozoans are the tapeworms, endoparasites. Decompose, जो ectoparasites बाहर है और endoparasites body के अंदर. Decomposers, they are those microorganisms that obtain energy from the chemicals breakdown of dead organisms or the animal of the plant's waste. These microorganisms are the decomposers as they break down the complex organic substances into the simpler inorganic substance that enter into the soil and are again used up by the plants. Example, bacteria and fungi. देखिए यहाँ पर पूरी फूड चेन दी हुई decomposers है ना. Carnivorous, herbivorous, producers, okay, and herbivorous, these are the, and that is the complete, and thank you very much. Okay. देखिए, green plants are the producers. Green plants eaten by the herbivorous animals like stag and cows, and carnivorous eats the flesh of the cows and stag, and there is the decomposers जो body parts इधर रह जाता है, और decomposers बैक्टीरिया वगैरह नीचे है. ये इस तरीके से काम चलता है. Thank you very much.